Okay, so
Christopher, I
Azar,
can see the screen.
at what?
I can't see.
Mavis, I can't hear you.
That I can't see.
Okay, we just talked about seeing my screen.
The screen is not showing.
I think it's the network where you are, or probably, yeah, yes, I think it's the network where you are, but because the majority is able to see the screen. So just try to move from where you are, okay? Just try to move from where you are, or log out, then you join again, because we still have space for people to join. The class is not full yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
so Gilbert, yeah. We're basically differentiating this normal function for us to find the marginal cost. Okay, so these are the answers for those questions, right? And then question C was basically asking us to um find the short run average fixed cost function. So the average fixed cost function, we found our function to be 150, right? Because it doesn't have q there. So we just put q down there because you cannot divide q down using at 150. So that would be our average fixed function. It is 150 over q. Okay, so that is our answer for the first average fixed function. Then and find the average variable cost function. So our variable is just this one with my q. We just again put q down there. It will mean that the q that is at 4 here, it will cancel, and the q that is at 10 will cancel. That which will mean that will imply that will remain with 4 plus 10 when with 1q, right? So this is our average variable uh, cost function. And then for D, they were basically saying find the short run average total function. I believe we've already found that one here, which is here. They basically asked the same questions even for the first question here. Okay, are we okay? We move on to question 2. Okay, perfect. So that that. Um, okay, just give me a sec. All right. Question 2 was say um we've been given quantity and total cost, right? We've been given quantity and total cost. The instruction says the above illustration the above illustrates the long run total costs faced by a firm. Find the long run marginal cost and the long run average costs faced by the firm. Plot your long run average costs and long run marginal costs faced by the firm. Why does the long run marginal cost cut the long run average cost curve at its minimum point? Okay, of course, this might seem to be complicated, even though it is not. So in the first illustration, they told us to find what? They told us to find marginal cost, and they also told us to find average cost, right? And then we know that for us to find marginal cost, we just have to, if we've been given such things like that, let us just try to assume that we're including my box. So yeah, assuming that we're doing that. Okay, of course drawing up observed, but let us assume. So we have marginal cost there, and we have average cost. Of course, we're not going to be finding series of pairs. I'll just illustrate what will be happening, and I'll believe, or I'll yeah I believe that you people will be able to answer it where we'll end it. Okay. So for us to find marginal cost, we know that to find marginal cost, we say marginal cost is simply at this point, if we've been given something like this, for us to find marginal cost on a box, it differs if we've been given a marginal cost function. Total cost function. As we can see here, for us to find marginal cost, the only thing that we're going to have to do is say the difference between total cost that we have over the difference in the quantity that we have. This basically comes to dy dx when we're differentiating the function. So this is why we get that dy dx function. Okay, don't get confused or anything. It's just the same thing, but it's just that that is a function and this is a box. So change in total cost, to just say change in total cost here, it is what we're going to put there, and then we also find the change there, we put parentheses, then divide. But most of the times you find that when you're finding the changes in the quantity, the changes will always be, or they are mostly 1 1 1 1 1 1. So it means that whatever number that you find when you find the change, that's the marginal cost there, right? Right? Yeah. And then, okay, I think that is really simple, guys. Yeah, I think that will be simple as drinking water. If I can direct my box here, so could even 80 18. Okay, so now we're basically going to try to find average cost. Average cost is found by average total cost is equals to this one basically is not change. When they are saying marginal, we equate to change in total cost and change in quantity, but average will just mean whatever quantity that we have, we do it per quantity that they are producing. Okay, so it is total quantity per output that is being produced. Okay, so that is how we put this in terms of the function. So it will mean that we are going to be dividing this total function, total cost, 1 into there, it will be 100, 2 into 1, 112, it will be okay, whatever number that will be there, but I believe it will be maybe 56, I don't know, yeah, 56. Again, we divide pankapalasti, that will be our average costs. Okay, so I'll send, in fact, I've already sent these questions in the group. I believe we all can see or know where they are. We can basically go and try to solve them. But according to the things that we're illustrating here, you can just be writing the formulas if you don't understand. But yeah, these things are really simple to get. Okay. If you don't, if you have a question, you can basically ask. Yeah. And then the question, so we've answered two things, right? We've found marginal cost, we've also found average cost, right? Now, we move to us plotting the average cost in the long run, marginal cost, right? So how do we plot these things? Of course, we're going to have a curve like that. We know that our marginal cost will basically decrease first, and then it will increase like that. And then our average cost will also decrease. Once it touches there, then it increases. Okay, so this is our marginal cost, and that is our average cost, right? So we've basically illustrated or plotted it on the graph. You can plot it using the quantities that you found. Basically, the graph will look like this. But no, as Mr. Lukondo mentioned, the numbers don't really matter. You can just draw something like this. Then yeah, as long as it is basically what you need to show, then it is okay. Then you also have to pay attention to the relationship between these two. So you are going to note that the relationship between the two is that as marginal cost decreases, right, you find that even average cost decreases, right? As it rises, this one can also be decreasing. It can still be decreasing even as marginal cost increases, not until it cuts at its minimum. That is when our average cost will increase. This is due to diminishing marginal returns. This is what I was basically illustrating yesterday to say they cut at the minimum because of diminishing marginal returns. You find that the as more outputs are being produced, you find that even the labor that is being put is increasing. You find that for the firm to make profit, it can only increase the price, and it is also supposed to increase the output that it is producing for it to make profit. So this was basically illustrated even yesterday for the class that was missed. Yeah, to some of you that did miss it. Okay, but no worries, because it's the same thing. um the name of the axis. So the y-axis will be price, um and then the x-axis will be the quantity. So price will basically mean the total cost. So kuku y-axis kuzangala ma costs uku, then here we're going to have the quantity like that. That is why we're basically plotting it like that. Okay. Any question, or we move on to question 3? Okay, perfect. No question. Okay. So question 3 is saying, using a graph, explain how a perfect competitive firm decides whether to produce or not to produce in the short run. So in the short run, I'll use this pattern akakapatikali hapa. Just pay attention to it. Yeah, first of all, I'll try to illustrate or give the conditions that are necessary for a firm to produce, or neither to produce, or just be in indifference with it. So in the short run, we have conditions like, for a firm produces at the point, it sets its output at the point where marginal cost is equals to marginal revenue, right? A firm, you're going to see it. You see it, Esther, Zion. So yeah. So this is the condition that is there in all the firms, right? A firm is going to set its output at the point where marginal cost is equals to marginal revenue. But in the perfect competition, since marginal cost is also the same thing as price, so the firm will basically choose its output at the point where marginal cost is equals to marginal revenue, of course, but it is also equals to price. So this is the condition that is my network. Okay. Everyone is able to see my screen. I mean the majority is able to see it, right? Okay. I think kapamanje napeza kuponkala network. So yeah. Okay, so this is the condition that is found. Yes, David. David, you can go ahead. Okay, I think you can continue. So the condition that is going to be illustrated is that marginal cost is equals to marginal revenue, which is also equals to price, right? Um okay, I'll do this. No pressure. Sadandaola. Let me do that. But since I've dropped my screen down where I was able to see the person that is basically going to ask a question, if you have a question, just raise your hand. It will do a notification, then I'll let you speak. Okay. Let me just drop this. All right. So we're basically talking about the condition where a firm is going to set its output in the perfect competition, right? So we'll say that I mean marginal cost is equals to marginal revenue, because I mean equals to price as well, because marginal revenue is the same thing as that, right? So this is a condition where a firm will set its output, then it sets its price at the point where price is equals to marginal cost. So this is also a condition that you're supposed to pay attention in the perfect competition. Then in the perfect competition short run, you have to know that a firm will make supernormal profits when the market price is above the average total cost. So it will make its supernormal profits at this condition. A firm will basically make a loss at the point where if price is less than average total cost, a firm will make losses in the short run. So these are the conditions that you are supposed to pay attention to, and no need to sweater how the graph is or anything. You just have to understand this, and if you want to sweater something, just memorize this, then you're okay, you're good to go. Then now let's talk about when a firm will shut down and when a firm will. Oh, okay, I forgot one condition. If a firm is at a point where price is equals to average variable cost, it means that a firm is in indifference either to continue producing or move out from the firm. So the firm will just be in indifference. It can't shut down. No. Um, yes. Go ahead. Saila.
Uh,
Salama.
so that last condition whereby price is equals to average variable cost is same as a break even.
Yes, exactly.
So, okay,
Exactly.
choose.
So this is also called the break even. This is the condition where we have normal profits now. At this condition, the firm is in indifference now. It is making losses and again it is making profits. It is more like you can make losses, you can also make profits. So you are in indifference either to move out or to continue producing. You have no choice. Ukaenda waleka kuchita produce will be making losses. If you continue producing, you'll be making losses and so it's just the same thing. So the firm will just be in indifference. And then now let's talk about when a firm chooses to shut down. A firm will shut down when price is less than average variable cost, and then it will continue producing when price is above average variable cost. As you've seen, these conditions are just conditions that you can memorize and try to understand them. At the point whereby you are going to see that average total cost will be determining if a firm is making profit or making losses, and average variable cost will basically be determining if a firm is shutting down or still being in the business. Is that hard or we can move on? Is that okay? Or we still need to draw my graph? Okay, I believe just understand. Then let's move on then. Okay, so that is that. There's nothing complicated here. Okay, let me just do this. Okay. Question 4. Question 4 is saying using the table, answer the questions that follow. Okay. We've been given quantity here. Yes, Godfrey.
Yeah, so when does the firm exit the market?
In the short run,
Uh, no, I just want you to explain, like, when does it exit the market? Like, if you're trying to differentiate between shutting down and exiting.
so a firm will basically, since look, um maybe, okay, let me just not waste much of the time drawing my graph, you understand. So if price is less than average, average um total cost, it means that the firm is making losses, right, in the short run. And then if price was above average variable cost, while we have the price below average uh, total cost, it means that a firm is making losses, but it is still be it will still be in business because it is able to cover some costs. Small men. Now, if we're just going to change this condition not to be price not being greater than average variable cost, we put it like this: price is less than average total cost and price is also less than average variable cost. The firm will probably shut down. It can't stay in business because it is making losses and it is unable to cover any costs. So this is, it will mean that tina magraph ya mwamba pa mwamba. So we have yonse magraph pa mwamba. Okay. All right, so we have quantity here, like which is output. We have price, we have total revenue, we have total, okay, we have all these things that are here. Like I always mention, if you are able to to answer the questions that you've been given on the cave, I mean, or you, yeah, you can finish the cave before even answer these questions. You can basically start with a table because it will always help you. Okay, so from here, how do we find total revenue? We know that total revenue is simply price times quantity, right? So that is total revenue. Our output is here and our price is here. So this is the market price and that's the output. So I'm just basically going to be multiplying this times that tapeza per 24. That times that tapeza 46. That time just like that, right? Until we are done with our total revenue. Are we okay with total revenue? Since this is a table, we'll be following it step by step. Okay. Then we have our total variable cost there. It means that we are going to find the part where we are going to have our total fixed cost, which we have here, which we are basically required to find, right? And then we have our total cost, which is 25. If our total cost is 25, remember that for us to find total cost, we're just going to be adding. Total cost is found by, so our total cost is found by total fixed cost plus total variable cost, right? Our variable cost we have, which is here. Then we do not have our fixed cost, but our total cost we have. So for them to find total cost, our total cost is 25, right? Then this one is 20. It means that this is 5, right? We have 5 there. And then we know that when we talk about a cost being 5, it means that it doesn't change even if quantity changes. So which means that we have 5, 5, 5 all over here until palasta power ma 5 eka. Okay there. Okay, perfect. So for us to find our total cost, we're now going to be adding this plus that type is up. This plus that we find there, this plus that we find there, just like that until we are done. Still just the same thing. Okay, we move to total profit. I mean, yeah, profit can also, I think it can also be said to be total profit, though it's a fake term. Okay, profit is simply total revenue minus total cost. The revenue that the firm is finding in whatever cost, I mean, whatever output it is producing, minus the cost it is incurring when producing those things, right? So our total revenue, remember that we're going to find total revenue here, right? Tukapeza total revenue. And our total cost is also going to be found there. So we're just going to be subtracting this minus the number that is there, tapeza answer. The number that is there minus that, I mean minus that, this minus that, tapeza number iri hapa. Are we okay with that? Okay, I think the chat is full. Kaya wina ngosipaza kwanisa kujoin. Yeah. Otherwise, phew. Okay, that is that. We have marginal cost now. Remember marginal cost at first we just mentioned to say marginal cost will be calculated by finding change in total cost over change in the output, right? So the change in total cost will be coming from here, the change in this and the change in the output. And I mentioned even to say the change in output is mostly 1, but do not say it is always 1. You should always try to check if it is really 1. But most of the times, just to give you a hint on not wasting much of your time, it is mostly 1. Yeah, it is always mostly 1. So you can also just find the difference between this and that. My difference yali hapa nchitapeza marginal cost hapa. We're okay with that, right? Okay. Let us move to marginal revenue. Of course, even marginal revenue are going to do the same thing. We know that marginal revenue is also going to be found by change in total revenue over change in the quantity that is being produced, right? So even here we have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Yeah, we're going to have 1 1. It's the same thing. So marginal cost is also going to be found by, marginal revenue is also going to be found by just finding the difference between these total revenues that we found. Okay. So that is that. The first question was saying we complete the table, which we've already done. And then the second question was saying that what is the profit maximizing condition. So the profit maximizing condition for any firm is that marginal cost, marginal revenue or marginal cost, marginal revenue is supposed to be equals to marginal cost, or you can also say marginal cost is equals to marginal revenue. It's just the same thing. Equals will mean just the same thing. It's the same thing as plus or times. It's just the same thing. Okay. Now we have so this is the condition for question B. You can just put it as that. Then question C, they're saying that um, state the profit maximizing output, price, and the what profit end. Okay, so here we're just going to follow this condition that was just from writing. The condition was just from writing. We'll find a point on a paper table. We'll find a point where marginal cost that we found and marginal revenue are the same. Mwamene umu line umu, that same line will also give us the quantity, it will also give us the price. I don't know, I'm just giving illustration, but yeah, the same line that we're going to find where these two are the same will be the same line that will give us everything that we need here, the quantity, the price, and the profit end. Okay. Okay, I think that is clear enough. We can move on to the next question. Yes, yes, go ahead.
So the question there, they want a condition or the numbers there where marginal cost is equals to marginal revenue.
You mean this? The condition is what we said. The condition is marginal revenue is equals to marginal cost. That is the condition for profit maximizing. That's the condition there. They wanted a
Okay.
yes, that's the condition there. Okay, I think we can move on. Then yes, Xavier.
So they are on the condition. Do they want numbers or just the same letters?
Just the condition, just the condition, Kwasila. No numbers, no nothing, just the condition, Kwasila.
Okay.
Another question. Okay, no questions, right? We can start. Oh, Xavier, I have a question. Okay, go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I forgot.
Okay. Question. I think this is part 2. Question 1 was saying what is the maximization condition for. So the question has come back again. The same thing to do with the condition. Condition is just where. How do you find it? That's that's what we're talking about here. So what is the maximization condition for a perfect competition when it comes to um, setting the output or the price? So the condition is that it will set its output at a point where marginal uh, revenue is equals to marginal cost, which is also equals to price. So this is the condition. Perfect competition, you do not say marginal revenue is equals to marginal cost kwa sira linwaiba lako. No, this is the condition if you are told to, if you are asked in this manner, because it's more like they're comparing a monopoly and a perfect competition. So we are going to do this. So a perfect competition has this condition and a monopoly has this condition. Are we okay with that?
Christopher, can you repeat? what you were saying because it was getting like couldn't hear what you were saying.
So here we're basically trying to, these conditions that I've put here are profit maximizing conditions. So when you are trying to maximize profit, you only try to look for you set the condition for looking for the output. You try to look for the output. Of course, the condition for price under a perfect competition can be price is equals to marginal cost, right? That is under perfect competition. And monopoly can be price greater than marginal cost. These are the conditions for price. But for the output, these are the conditions. And then for the prices, these are the conditions. Are we okay on that? All right. Yeah, so these conditions, yes, Letitia.
Yeah, so on the condition for a perfectly competitive firm, can you also include the demand? Is it okay to include it?
Demand is the price. Price is also average revenue, so there's no need to include it. We're putting,
Okay,
guys.
so
Okay, let me just, so the reason we're saying marginal revenue is equals to marginal cost is equals to price here on the perfect competition. It's because price is the same thing as average revenue. It is the same thing as average variable cost. It is, I mean, average revenue. It is also the same thing as demand, right? They're all the same. That is the reason we're putting it like this. But when it comes to a monopoly, you find that the revenue is like that and then the demand is like that, so they cannot be equal. That's the reason this one is supposed to be on its own and that one is supposed to be on its own, for like that. Okay, let me not go too deep in it. Let's just end there. Nothing is too deep there, because if I start going into deep too much upper magic, we just get confused unnecessarily. Okay. All right. Question 2 was saying clearly illustrate using a graph under what conditions a monopolistic will experience the following in the short run. Okay, so the first one was where a monopolistic is basically going to um, experience economic profit, supernormal profits. So basically, to just the same conditions that you know under a perfect competitions are the same conditions that are even here. You're just basically going to draw a graph like that, and then you have your demand curve like that. Your price can be somewhere here, and then for it to maximize to find supernormal profits, it will mean that average total cost is above, I mean it is below the market price, right? That is how it will experience supernormal profits. You can also include the average variable cost because they've talked about the short run. There's no pressure. And then where a firm will, which one is losses? Losses, it will mean that the average total cost is above that market price, this market price, like that. But different connect to McCave, not the way I'm putting it like that.
can you repeat? Can you repeat, Chris?
We are talking about
Yes, can you repeat?
we're talking about a firm making supernormal profits on the first question, right? So this is our cave. You have our marginal cost where we have our price, our market price, and then we have our demand price there, and our yeah, our price, I mean our quantity there. So we're going to put our AVC, I mean our average total cost, below the market price to show that the firm is making supernormal profits. It will be down here, average total cost. This is for question A. Supernormal profits are going to be made in that way, as long as average total cost is below the market price. It's just the same conditions that are under the short run perfect competition. Even here, they are just the same. It's just the way you draw the curve. Are we okay on that? All right. Now we move to a firm making losses. When a firm is making losses, our average total cost will just move from being down there, and then it will be above the market price. The market price is here, but this one will be above the market price. So it will mean that the firm is making now losses, to be making losses. And then, yeah, okay, so that is that. And then the last one is where a firm is making normal profits. Where a firm is making normal profits, it will mean that that curve will just pass here, it will be equals to, it will pass here to be equals to the market price, to be like that, equals to the market price. That is where now the firm is making normal profits. Just it is making normal profits, zero economic profits. So these are the conditions that you need to know. And yeah, I think that is how I can, yeah, can illustrate those. Any questions? Any other question? Or we can continue. Any question or we continue? Yes, Namoze. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but yeah, go ahead.
What are avoidable costs?
Variable costs.
Avoidable cost.
Yes, it's variable costs, Kylie. The variable costs can be avoidable, but fixed costs cannot be avoidable. Assume that you're running a company, right? Okay, let me just say, yeah, it's in your company is in town, right? Costs like my transport fee, those can change due to the quantity that you're going to produce, right? Yeah, my transport fee, if you do not go, basically it means that you've avoided that cost, right? So those variable costs can be avoidable, but fixed costs cannot. So yeah.
Right.
Okay, let us move on then. What? Okay, this question, when I started repeat, it's just the same question, so we can just move on to question 4. Question 4, they were saying, graphically derive the short run and long run supply curve of a perfectly competitive firm. Use a separate graph for each. So basically here, yes, Maria.
I was asking that in the short run, we don't include the variable cost scale. All right, the variable cost scale.
I said you can. That's what I said. I said you can. The same conditions that you follow in the, yeah, the same conditions that you follow in the short run perfect competition, those are the same conditions that we're going to be following even here. Okay, the same conditions that you're following there in here, then in Mbapa, so those are the same conditions that you follow even there. Anvela?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. All right, so now they're basically asking us to find the supply curves now for the short run and the long run. So we know that the supply curve for the long run in the perfect competition, it is just the curve of the MC above the AVC, right? It is this curve. Let me just change the to maybe that. Okay, starting from that point to that point, that's the supply curve. Okay, that's the supply curve, and from here you can basically define what we call as the what, shutdown point. The shutdown point is the minimum of the AVC, because supply starts at the same point here. That's where the supply starts from. So you can supply starting from here going up there, but you cannot supply below this short shutdown price or point. The shutdown price will basically be below the shutdown point. So yeah, that's the difference that is there. Okay, they may not confuse you much, but let us go back to the question. So the supply curve will be the AVC, I mean the MC above the AVC, starting from there going up there. Why is it upward stopping? We've talked about this a lot of times. It is upward stopping because of the law of diminishing marginal returns, which states that as the firm is producing, right, it will be incurring total costs, right? But as the more it is basically incurring those costs. You remember in the short run, we have what we call fixed cost, my capital and all those things. And then capital, the more you're adding labor to one capital that is fixed, the capital is not changing, but labor is changing. It will reach a point whereby labor, I mean capital is cheaper compared to labor, and then concito manje they will be inefficient. And for the firm to make profit, it can only increase the price. So the price can be here, the price can be there, the price can be there, the price can be there. As you can see, it is increasing price, even the quantity is being increased for it to make what? Profit. So that is the illustration that is under that graph. That is the illustration that you can give under that graph. But cutting the story short, just understand that it is upward stopping because of the law of diminishing marginal returns. Are we okay on that? All right. So that is that. Now let us talk about the perfect competitive supply curve for the long run. So it will be like this, the same horizontal one. A firm can basically produce at this point, at that point, at that point, at the same point, it can produce whatever quantity it wants, because under this, there's a condition that says that a firm, okay, because of easy entry and exit in the market. So, which basically mean that if a firm was to produce at this point, no one will come to them, right? And we can start reduce, a firm will not make profits. Of course, it will sell, but it will not make profits. So the firm will basically be forced to come back here. And then when we talk about easy entry to the market, will basically mean that you find that bantu wakaona business yambo booming and they'll enter the market, then they'll increase the quantity, right? Once they increase the quantity, to mean that the price will go back to normal. And then when price goes back to normal, again, people will be like, we're making losses, let us move out. They'll move out as easy as they want. Again, wakaona masala quantity ngono bambopanga just like that. So it's more like a chain, just rotates the same point, just like that. So that's why the demand curve is like that. Okay, are we okay on that? Can move on. Okay, yes, Makaya.
I'm not really sure, but what research says, since in the short run we've got like a variable cost and a fixed cost. So we're going to say it's the short run supply curve is MC above average variable cost, like that part that you had said. But when you look at the long run, since in the long run we've got like um both costs are variable, do not have a fixed cost. So there, yes, like the way you had explained, saying it's about the few making the entry and exit, if they're making profit and losses and stuff. But I'm not really sure on your diagram, the one that you drew, because from my understanding, I know that the long run supply curve should be um, marginal cost above ATC. That's what I know. For a few, I'm not sure.
Oh, so that is what we know. Okay, since you are basically you said you are researching, right? So you are researching. I think you didn't reach your point of research or peak, let me say so. So you should also try to go research again. Just get the hey you guys, why are you laughing, Manji? Makaya, get your market structure notes, just go through those. You understand what I'm talking about. No offense or anything, but yeah, that is that. But try to understand the notes, okay? Try to understand the notes. Or maybe just a minute, Godfrey. Makaya, try to explain exactly what you mean on the long run supply cave is what is.
No, like your graph, you said it's what is the long run for a film. You said it. Okay, can you kindly draw it again?
It's like that. It's just horizontal like that.
Me, what I know is that um that's like I don't know how to put it, but when we're talking about a film, the supply cave, you know that we've got like in the long run we've got a film supply cave and the market supply cave, right?
Yeah.
And then um what yes, what I know is that for a film, the supply cave it does marginal cost above average total cost because in the long run we've got both factors to be variable. So we're going to consider the average total cost. I don't know
Okay,
if you're understanding
so
what I'm
so
trying to
what you're
say, but
saying,
yes.
of course, I get what you're saying. So for the market, of course, we consider the market. I get what you're saying. No, and I'm sorry if I sounded to be rude, but I was not. I was just trying to be direct to the point. Okay. So of course, the thing is that if you are basically trying to find the market supply cave, it is simply the addition of all the supply caves in the market, right? Which will make the cave to look horizontal. But remember that we're trying to consider the terms to say that we're talking about the long run and the short run, and this is what I'm trying to talk about here. So the market will have these supply scapes, right? We have the demand curve looking like that and the supply curve going up like that. But when you are talking about a simple frame, of course, a simple frame in the long run, I mean in the short run, like I illustrated at first, it is simply the curve of the AVC above. I mean the curve of the MC above the AVC, right? And I've explained why it is like that. Okay. And then in the long run, the supply curve for the long run is horizontal because of what I basically illustrated. But when I'm talking about the market, of course, even the market illustrates to say when you are trying to add up all the supply caves for the markets that are in that market, it is just a horizontal summation because you're adding all the markets that are in the market. This market is supplying whatever quantity that it has. This market is just like that. So basically, since we're trying to yeah, I don't know if you get the concept, but I understand your concept, and I believe that it won't be easy for me to convince you with anything. That's the reason I went on and just said you should go back to the notes.
Screen stopper.
Yes, miss.
Accepting the screen.
Yeah, my screen is still on. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah. So Makaya, I said that you try to go back to the notes because right now the way it is,
Okay.
I'm also a student. So if you study something and someone
Can
comes
I
in,
extend some?
yes, go ahead.
I'm I'm not trying to argue with you, but like I feel like what you're explaining somehow, there's one that you say it's just going to be a horizontal thing. That's for the market supply cave, not the film. The question is saying the film.
Okay, just a minute. Yes,
I don't
Godfrey.
know if there's someone who can like join in stage and say something about it.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. So let me maybe just explain what she's saying. Uh, in a short run, there are two things. There are fixed. We have fixed cost and also variable cost. So there's a part in a short run where the curve, where when you are looking at the supply curve, you find that you add the fixed cost and the variable cost, but in the long run, they are only variable cost. So there's no that capacity for fixed cost. That's what she's trying to say, that in the like the one that you've drawn at per first. The one that you've drawn per first it is for the long run supply curve. Then when you want to draw now for the short run, you have to add the fixed cost. So meaning the curve you have total fixed cost and also variable cost. Then that is the supply curve for the short run.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I get you guys. I don't know how to basically make you people understand that.
Christopher,
Understand. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Christopher.
Yes, Makaya.
Okay,
I'm now
let me
confused.
try explain this for the last time.
I'm now
Yes,
confused.
but I feel like this may help. This may help someone. So, in the long run, like how I put it, we've got both factors to be variable. So the long run supply curve, it's just the long run marginal cost above and the long run average cost. That's part. Like it's similar to the one that you drew in the short run supply curve. It's just that the only difference there for the short run supply curve, we're going to call it MC and ABC. But in the long run, we're going to say long run marginal cost and long run average cost. Something similar. But the one that you drew this graph, the one that you drew saying that's the for the film, it's correct, yes. The one that you drew the horizontal thing, the graph that you drew saying
Guys,
that's
what
the
film are you talking about?
no, I'm saying he drew a graph saying that that's the supply cave for the long run film. If you remember it, the graph that I'm just talking about, the one that he drew, this one, the horizontal graph, yes. So me, what I know is so this one, the one that you drew, that's for the market. In the market, we've got three types of graphs. If it's constant, like the cost unchanged, it's going to be horizontal. But if cost expands and like the rise, it's going to be. I don't know if you guys are trying to get the concept of what we are saying, but yes.
Alright, I get it.
Okay. We can all see my screen, right?
No, we can't. I can't personally.
Okay.
Me, I can see your screen.
We can see what is on the screen, right?
Yes, we can see.
We can.
What are we sharing
Still
about?
can't see.
Tishushana chan kanshi. That we can see what is these notes are very self-explained. So what Makaya is saying is true. I didn't diffuse or anything.
Yes.
Yeah. But what I was saying is what she didn't the concept that I was saying is what she didn't understand. Of course, for the firm, of course, when we're talking about the firm, you're going to find the firm is showing that. But when you take the same supply in the market, the supply curve will be horizontal like that. Miss Makaya, it should just be like that. Okay, so that is what I was trying to explain. I get what you're saying and everything, but yeah, that is that. Yeah, are we okay with that, or we still have something to add?
The question here become a point.
Where is the question? Okay, so the question has been answered, right? Where is it? Yeah. The question was basically asking us to rate the competitive market. I mean the okay, I think we're moving on to the industry. But yeah, it's the same thing. So those are just the same things. I think I'll be confused now. Nine and a minute and Bonkara confused somehow. Yeah. At some point, I'm now confused. But yeah, I just hope everyone is okay with that and we continue without wasting time. Okay. Can we continue, please?
Chris, us were not. No. Us were not okay with that. It was okay. Then you confused us.
I didn't confuse you or anything.
Yes, yes, Chris. No,
Simnamvere
I
vya
was confused.
simnamvere vya kamba. Simnamvere vya kamba makaya.
Must explain Bambi the Christos Tinambere match.
Next
My
question.
sister confused.
Okay, you guys, these are the graphs that we have, right? For the fame, if we're just talking about the fame, this is the fame, right? This is in the long run. In the long run, we just have the average, right? It's the one that is basically illustrating whatever we're illustrating. But if we get the supply curve from this fame, we take it in the market. How can I put it? If you're a fame, you have a supply curve, right? Do you sell goods to yourself or you sell in the market? Someone to answer this question for me. If you are a firm, do you sell goods to yourself or you sell goods on the market?
On the market.
It's on the market.
Exactly. So if we said the supply curve will be basically like this because we're taking from the firm to the market. We're taking from the firm to the market. So the supply curve will be like that. Yes, Makaya.
No, can I just like explain for everyone for the last time? Then we move.
Yeah. Try to explain.
So I'll start with, I don't know if I should just cater the short run, I mean the long run, or I should also
I think you
explain
can.
a bit about the short run.
I think you can
Do
do the long.
everything.
Do
I feel like
everything.
you should explain on everything.
So yes, like the way I put it, in the short run, we know that here we've got a fixed factor and a variable factor. So well, in the short run, we've got individual fuel in the market. So their graphs are not the same; they are different, same as in long run. So when we start with the short run individual fuel, you know that in perfect competition, a fuel is a price taker and cannot influence the market price. So the point of profit maximization is where price is equal to marginal cost. And then the short run supply curve is just marginal cost above average variable cost. That's a graph, the one that Christopher drew you guys. That's the top part, like where average variable cost is cutting now the top part is there. Then when we look at the market for the short run supply curve, the market is just the horizontal summation of all the films there. So when you add all the quantities together, let's say the price is 10, and then film A produces 20, and then film B produces what is 30. So when you add 20 plus 30, you're going to have 50. That's your market price. So the market price, the graph for the short run market supply curve is just upward sloping because higher prices causes films to increase output. Then when you look at the long run,
Makaya, are you still there? I don't know if maybe it's the network or
I think
something.
network.
Guys, but very complicated hapa, eh? Why are we confused?
angakwiye nokwiya muntu bemwakosera pali fumu yake amene kuvinango understand na
Yes, Makaya, go ahead. Continue.
so I want with the one for the film. So input here, then it's marginal cost above average cost. You put the word long run to emphasize it.
Yeah. That's
What?
perfect. That's perfect.
You
That's
know my network
perfect.
is breaking.
That's perfect.
What? you saying?
Continue.
Mwetavera kudala mwesimu.
Can we move
Okay.
on,
Yes.
guys?
The graph one is graphing it. The one that has the green thing. This one is for the what is for the film. Then this one left to this one in a charge chichan. This one, the one that's just like how to explain is hard, but yes. This one, this side, it's the one for the market. So Christopher had confused the two.
Oh.
I
Oh, okay. Now I get where the confusion is. Okay, I get. Okay, I get where the confusion is. Guys, and I expect that you people have studied. So most of the times when I'm giving an answer for anything that I'm giving, I expect that at least, navelenga one or two things, we know what we're talking about. Right? So I understand you, Makaya, and I get. Are we okay with what she has explained? Yeah, perfect time. So don't mostly blame me. I just don't like wasting time on things that I feel like you people understand. Okay. Okay, let us move on then. Well, basically, talk about question 5. What time is it? I hope we haven't consumed a lot of time. Just a minute. Okay, we have about 22 minutes remaining. Okay. All right. Question 5 was saying define the shutdown price. I draw the proper graph. For which one, Kanshi? Doing the same graphs that I drew are just proper graphs. What else do you want me to draw?
You people is smooth.
Eh? Okay, tentative indeed. Define the shutdown price. Someone to define that, because apamanje pamkospanga pamba kubaba. Someone to define that.
The shutdown price. This is the price that we get the marginal cost because of the marginal revenue. In the price, that's the price we get the marginal revenue because of marginal cost. Then we get the price that's there.
Yes, Vanessa.
The short-term price is the price below the minimum AVC.
Okay, thank you, Esther and Vanessa, for your answers. Okay, guys, it's not called confusion. This is discussing. So it's just one person that is talking. It is boring. So yeah, it is more fun when everyone is participating and there's a bit of this same drama. Okay, yeah. So we know that the shutdown price. How are you people defining it? Wait. I'm now confused. Go back to the definition, please. Vanessa and Esther.
The short-term price is the short-term price is the price that's below the minimum average variable cost curve.
Okay. Just a minute, because apamanje in the time yopunzirira apa paka. This is the only time we can punzira, guys. This is the only time we can punzira these things. Pesichacha kubwerera mu exam amba kufunza ati nyabwanje. This is okay, we have this point, right? Papa also have this point. So I have maybe 10 here and we have 9 there. Which one is the shutdown price between the two? We have 10 here. We have 9 here. Which one is the shutdown price?
It's 9 because producing at 10 won't it just mean that the firm is breaking even? And then at 9, if it's going to produce at 9, then it has to shut down because it's just going to be making losses.
Okay. Perfect. I thought you were saying it is 10 in the definition. All right, thank you. So that is that 10. The shutdown price is just the price above this, not here, papa. So that is that. Okay. I think that is clear enough. Yeah. And I hope Helen is here to pemperera for us. Well, as we finish this. Uh, all right. So question 6 was saying that how does a firm decide whether or not to continue producing in the short run? So we've already illustrated those conditions that we illustrated, right? In the short run, a firm will basically decide to continue producing in the short run when when price is above the AVC. This is the only condition that matters for the firm to continue producing in the short run, right? And then in the uh, long run, a firm will continue producing when price is equals to average total cost, because a firm produces at this point where price is equals to average total cost, which means that the firm will basically be making normal profits, not supernormal profits. That's in the long run. Then a firm will continue producing, stop continue producing in the short run when price is it will stop producing if price is below average variable cost, and then here if price is below average total cost. So these are the conditions. It will continue if this is so, it will shut down if this is so. Are we okay? All right. um why are cost curves U-shaped? So okay, this I've really have been talking about this all the time. Someone to answer this.
Because of the law of diminishing marginal returns.
Okay, that is basically direct time. Without wasting time, can move on. Unless there are questions. Question 8.
I didn't hear what they said.
Yeah, benze banka question. Tell the lady what you said.
It is because of the law of diminishing marginal returns, okay?
What's you?
Even in
Say it again. Say it again.
What I'm saying is this, it is because of the law of diminishing marginal returns. You understand? Voice has the chance in doing.
Okay, Zukoma.
All right. So question 8 is saying graph the demand curve, average revenue and marginal revenue curve for of a perfect competitive firm and a monopolist. So basically we're basically going to try to draw for a monopoly and a perfect competition, right? So we know that for a perfect competition, all these things, the demand curve, the average revenue, and the marginal revenue, they are all the same, right? It's just a horizontal summation of all the firms that are found under a perfect competition. Then we find marginal revenue there, everything, right? And then for a monopoly, of course, we're going to have a demand curve being downward sloping like that, and our marginal revenue is also downward sloping, but this one is twice steeper than the other. So that is how we can draw this, right? Simple as that. And then average revenue is simply the same as the demand curve. So this one and that will be on the same path here. but our marginal revenue will be different to be there. Okay. Finally, question 9, they're saying that given the following demand function, which is P is equals to 50 minus 2Q, derive question A, the marginal revenue function. So we know that for us to come up with marginal revenue, we have to first come up with total revenue, which is basically price times quantity, right? So if we're saying that it is price times quantity, we get this price because we have the price function, which is 50 minus 2Q times quantity, of course, right? If we basically multiply this, we're going to have 50Q minus 2Q squared, right? Yeah. For us to find margin of this, we're basically going to derive it. Differentiate it. If we differentiate this, we'll go back to having 50 plus 4Q, right? 50, not plus, minus 4Q, like that. Are we okay on that? So this is the thing that we're going to have. And then the question B was saying graph the demand function and marginal revenue
Please
function.
repeat that equation so that I can find.
Okay, so from having after we find, okay, how can I put it? Let me just do this. Okay, we multiply this times that, right? We're going to have 50Q, right? Minus 2Q squared, isn't it? So this is our total revenue. This is our total revenue that we found, right? From this total revenue that we found, we have to find marginal revenue. How do we find marginal revenue? Just differentiate this. If we do differentiate it, we're going to find 50 minus 2 times 2 or 4, and then 1Q will remain with 50 minus 4Q, right? That will be our marginal revenue function, right? In question B, was saying that graph the demand function and marginal revenue function on the same graph. You know that the marginal revenue function is twice steeper than the demand function, right? Which means that you just get these same equations that were from finding, you put them on one graph. You put them like that. Your demand function will be like that, your marginal function will be like that. You can show that our marginal revenue function is 50 minus 4Q. Then our demand function is D. We just get the price. D is equal, or let's just say price is equals to 50 minus 2Q. As you can see, this is 2 and this is 4. This is twice than that. Small meaning 2 times 2, twice than that. Okay, and then the intercept on the first part is 50, so I have 50 there on top there. So this is how you can basically illustrate that. But you know that on the curve you can have marginal cost, and then you can also show where you have price, right? So this is price and that's quantity, and then you can show that you have quantity there and you have price there, right? Then question C is saying find the profit maximizing output and price, and the price given that the monopolist has total cost function as total cost as 30Q. So you know that for you to find profit maximizing output for the monopoly, you are going to find marginal revenue is equals to marginal cost, right? Marginal revenue, we found the function, which is this one, small mean e eta pesa. So now we just have to find the marginal cost, where we've been given total function here. So we derive it or differentiate it, we are going to find 30, right? So we can just equate 50 minus 4Q is equals to 30, right? Either ways, this can go that side and that comes that the other side. This can come there and that 4 goes the other side to mean just the same. And if we do that, to mean that 50 minus 30 to give us 20, and then 20 divided by 4, our quantity is going to be 5, right? Yeah. So once we find our quantity, it means that here per q upper we'll put 5 there on this q that is there. And then for us to find the price, we just get the price function that we have been given, the price function that we've been given, which is p is equals to this same price function. While there is q there, we just replace 5. So 2 times 5, it is 10. 50 minus 10 is 40. So the price is 40. As you can see, this price is lower than the demand price, right? Yeah. So this is the price, which is 40. Okay. Are we okay with that? Okay. Today's class was really live. Like, yeah, you people were fun and stuff like that. I think you should be doing this most of the times. But yeah, we should just be maintaining order. But yeah, can be doing this to make the class alive at least. Okay, I think we're done with this tutorial.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then do not leave without some of us saying Muyende. Um, yes, Vanessa.
I was wondering, are we still having the second quiz on the 7th for macro?
The woman said that she will have to reschedule. So yeah, we'll have to reschedule. It depends with how she'll wake up. If yeah, we're going to do it tikashute, and we're not going to do it. Kubek shoot and ishmanji.
Tifunga tikaichite wo ita tikashite bwino.
That's what I'm saying, Kaedi Manji. It